President DeLomo, Dr. Finneberg, faculty and staff colleagues, upper class students, and most importantly, the new students of Rider University. Welcome to the start of a new academic year and welcome to the 2020 New Student Convocation. To our new students, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Donna Jean Ferdine, and I'm the Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs. Before continuing with the ceremony, I would like to acknowledge a very special group of students, our orientation staff. Under the strong leadership of Christine Melhorn, these students have spent their entire summer doing all they can to help you, our new students, feel welcomed into the Rider community. The Slash of Rider program they initiated this summer was actually adopted by quite a few institutions in the Northeast. These students are such tremendous ambassadors for the university, and we thank you for all you do to create a strong connection between our new students and our community. New Student Convocation is an annual ceremony that welcomes our new students and inaugurates a new academic year. Whether you're transitioning from high school to college student or from one college home to Rider, we celebrate this transition, for you are now a Rider Bronc, a member of our vibrant living and learning community. We encourage you to strive to meet the expectations of your professors and participate fully in the life of our university. As part of our ceremony this afternoon, you will hear from one of our distinguished professors, Dr. Todd Weber, who will deliver the academic charge for the year. Today's ceremony is formal in nature. If we were on campus, the faculty and administrators would be decked out in our academic regalia, ushering in the start of another academic year with the pomp and circumstance associated with higher education. This formality is due to the purpose of the ceremony. Today, we ask you to embrace the reason you decided to attend Rider University. Now, we hope this decision is because you wanted to continue learning, to engage in the exploration of knowledge, whether it be in the creation of new knowledge, application of existing knowledge to new problems, or to challenge the validity of accepted knowledge. Now, your prior experiences may lead you to believe that this knowledge exploration, your education, only will take place in the classroom. You may consider learning as an activity in which you attend class, take copious notes, find a quiet place to study those notes, complete assignments, write essays and papers, and display your acquisition of that knowledge on exams. Certainly, as the Chief Academic Officer, I would hope that you consider those activities an integral and important aspect of your education. However, if you are passive in your approach to learning, it will fall short in terms of your expectations as well as the expectations of your parents and future employers. To truly obtain the greatest value from your time at Rider, it is most important that you approach your learning in a very active manner. If you become an active and engaged learner, you will begin to make connections that link your learning to the different disciplines you examine in your classes, to discussions at the dinner table, to the news you hear and read, and to the common threads that weave cultures and nations together. These connections will become apparent because our faculty will help you refine your critical thinking skill, the most valuable skill of all. They will work closely with you as you dive into research and problem solving, understanding the many approaches to analysis and evaluations. They will facilitate difficult discussions, guiding you to an approach that is respectful and well-informed as you debate with your peers and others. And most importantly, they will help you make the connections I mentioned earlier through the application of your newly acquired knowledge to the world outside the classroom. You will find that those assignments, essays, papers, and exams require you to apply your knowledge to the many capacious, complex issues that face our nation and the world. Of course, we also hope that the reason you decided to attend Rider University is that you found our vibrant living and learning community provided an environment in which you can learn and grow. Here to speak to you about a few aspects of that vibrant community is our president, Dr. Gregory DeLomo. Dr. DeLomo has been leading Rider University since 2015. Immediately upon his arrival, he began the process to create Our Path Forward, the university's strategic plan. Many of the changes that occurred on campus in the last 5 years are a result of his bold, visionary leadership. He is very committed to our students, to our university, and to our mission. President DeLomo.
Thank you, Dr. Perdine, and good afternoon. I'm delighted to welcome our new students. Today, the Rider academic community assembles to greet you, to tell you how proud we are to have you join us, to help launch you on your path as a Rider Bronc, and to begin a new academic year. Many individuals like to talk about the fact that this is the start of a new chapter in your lives. And you know what? It really is. Because Rider will introduce you to a wonderful world of new ideas, new experiences, and new people. And if you are diligent in your studies and take advantage of all that Rider offers, your time here will be an adventure in learning that will successfully shape the rest of your life. As I mentioned previously, it's a wonderful opportunity for you to create your Rider story and your personal legacy. And if there are any doubts floating through your mind about whether you will succeed at Rider, rest assured you will. And the reason why I'm so confident that you will is because our faculty and staff are here to help you succeed. As the provost highlighted, it is important for you to be an active and engaged learner inside and outside the classroom. By doing this, your college experience will not only be exciting and rewarding, it will provide you with the most holistic preparation for life beyond Rider, a competitive advantage in whatever field you choose, and prepare you to thrive professionally and to be lifelong independent learners and responsible citizens who embrace diversity, support the common good, and contribute meaningfully to the changing world in which you live and work. That last statement comes from our mission statement and embraces our commitment to social responsibilities, which is demonstrated in our statement of community values. Later in the program, you will be formally introduced to it. This value statement is designed to foster a set of common values in both academic and student life. It encourages you to explore ethical issues and the responsibilities we have to our campus community, to each other, and to the larger world. Here at Rider, we define responsibility as being thoughtful, civil, and personally accountable for your actions. It means respecting yourself and others. It also means valuing our diversity and promoting racial and social justice. When you combine all these elements of what we value and respect, you emerge ready to contribute meaningfully to the world in which you live and work. We are sincerely delighted and proud that you have joined the Rider family. Remember, as I mentioned earlier, this not only have you chosen Rider, but we have chosen you because we believe you are a talented and motivated individual and will be successful Rider graduates. In fact, we look forward that in 4 years, at your graduation ceremony, you will join our family of over 50,000 proud Rider alumni. Today, you take the first step on that wonderful journey, a journey that will occur over a lifetime. So I look forward to seeing you on campus. And when I do, please stop to say hello and let me know how things are going. Have a great and wonderful year. And once again, welcome to the Rider family and go Bronx. It is now my pleasure to introduce our Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Leanna Fennenberg. Since her arrival in the fall of 2017, Dr. Fennenberg has elevated the role of student affairs in our efforts to create a vibrant living and learning community and support student success. She co-chairs the President's Council on Inclusion and was instrumental in the creation of the Inclusive Excellence Plan. Please welcome Dr. Leanna Fennenberg.
Thank you, Dr. DeLomo. Rider University prides itself on our approach to holistic learning. You've just heard messages from the provost and the president that speak to the depth and breadth of the academic experience you're about to embark on. That classroom education is significantly enriched by engaged learning, the out-of-class experiences you'll have related to the curriculum and co-curriculum. What I want to emphasize in my remarks today is the word engaged and what that means for your rider experience. We hope that you will engage with your learning in person and/or virtually, engrossing yourself with opportunities for new knowledge and absorbing a variety of content and perspectives. We hope you'll engage with leadership opportunities through clubs and organizations and campus events. And we hope you'll engage with one another, with your fellow students, faculty, and staff, supporting and learning from one another. This kind of engagement exemplifies what we mean when we say Rider is a vibrant, living, and learning community. Community at Rider is inextricably connected with our deep commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Our Inclusive Excellence Plan exemplifies this commitment with our vows to embrace and support students of all identities and backgrounds, including age, country of origin, ability, economic background, education level, ethnicity, gender identity and expression, immigration status, veteran status, among others. We all understand the weight of the pandemic and the associated health and economic impacts, heightened racial violence and injustice, and other challenges facing people with already marginalized identities. Rider is committed to promoting equity and inclusion and supporting the unique dreams and journeys for each Rider student, understanding the challenges that many of us are facing. For each of you, this is your Rider. Your experience will be what you make of it, and all of the faculty, staff, and students on campus, and even those working from home, are here to support you and help your experience be great. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Todd Weber, Professor of Biology. Dr. Weber joined Rider University in the fall of 2001, and by 2005, he had earned a reputation as a dynamic, engaging classroom instructor, earning him the Distinguished Teaching Award for that year. Dr. Weber was instrumental in creating the Science, Living, and Learning community, received the Chairperson's Leadership Award in 2017, and has mentored many students in his research laboratory. Dr. Weber's research is fascinating and focuses on the circadian timing system in our brains that controls our daily rhythms in physiology and behavior, and how disrupting that system can contribute to the development of disorders such as diabetes and obesity. Dr. Weber.
Thank you, Dr. Fenneberg, and welcome to Rider's new students. For this auspicious occasion, I've been trying to think of something inspirational to say, something motivational, something profound. So I'm going to say stop, drop, and roll. Now, I don't know if this is still universally taught to young people, but it was ingrained in the brains of my generation so that if one ever found oneself in a certain situation, one would almost instinctively know what to do. And of course, that situation was if you were ever on fire. Now, obviously, I did not make up stop, drop, and roll. The person that came up with that idea was a genius. Everybody knew it. Everybody knew what it meant. Now, I've never been on fire, but I would like to think that if I ever were on fire, I would instinctively remember what to do. Stop, drop, and roll. I often catch students daydreaming in class. It might surprise students to know that professors daydream in class too. If we're good at it, we've even learned to do it while we lecture. In fact, I'm daydreaming right now. And my daydream today is pretty much the same as other days. It's about how to come up with a message that's both as universally well-known and personally useful to the recipient as stop, drop, and roll, but one that applies to Rider students and how they can do well in my class. In that quest, I read an interesting book some years ago that talks about how little things can make a big difference. It's by Malcolm Gladwell, and it's called The Tipping Point. In it, he dissects the factors that contribute to the phenomenon of epidemics. Not epidemics of disease like COVID-19, but social epidemics. Ideas, products, messages, behaviors that massively and suddenly spread through society. Fashion trends, teenage vaping, crime waves, social protests, things that go along unchanged for some amount of time, and then for some unexplained reason change drastically. They reach a point at which something changes just enough that the consequences are drastically altered. This is a tipping point. In the book, Gladwell identifies three main agents of change. His law of the few describes different types of exceptional people that contribute to the spread of ideas. Connectors are people that know lots of other people, and by virtue of their social personality, they bring people together, and as such, they're very influential in spreading messages. Mavens are another class of individuals whose preoccupation is with information. These are comparison shoppers, people who study the field out of inherent curiosity. If you happen to mention to someone like this that you need a new TV, they'll know which TV is the best TV and where you can buy it for the best price. They're the ones who are very effectual at coming up with or shaping messages. Salespeople is the term Gladwell gives to individuals who are persuasive in society, people whose genuineness allows us to be convinced and persuaded by their opinions. And while some of them are actually employed in the field of sales, most of them are not people with a vested interest in our purchasing decisions, but rather just people whose opinions we find ourselves inexplicably prone to trust. Their endorsements influence whether we buy the message that's being passed along. Gladwell goes on then to examine the nature of messages themselves, how in particular he discusses what he calls the stickiness of messages, which describes how memorable a message is and how effectively it stirs people to action. Marketing people are very interested in making advertisements sticky, not just memorable, but compelling enough for people to go out and buy stuff. This concept extends to many other venues in our society as well. Most of you may have grown up watching Blue's Clues, a children's educational television show that evolved from programs like Sesame Street. The show featured a live actor who served as the host, who bumbled around finding blue paw prints on clues left by Blue, the cartoon blue dog around which the show was based, in order to solve puzzles like what Blue's favorite color was or what Blue's favorite food is. The idea was to teach young children deductive problem-solving skills. I watched an episode once with my niece. The animations were not particularly flashy or exotic. The script was deliberately slow-paced and included excruciatingly long pauses that were meant to give young children time to think and answer the host's questions. Moreover, they played the same episode 5 days in a row every week. And guess what? Kids watched it 5 days in a row every week. They talked back to the TV, and studies show they actually learned. This was probably the stickiest television show ever invented. The third concept Gladwell talks about analyzes the power of context, which asserts that thoughts and decisions and behaviors are more heavily influenced by the context of a situation than most of us are willing to accept. Good people do bad things under certain circumstances. Smart people make stupid decisions under certain circumstances. The question is, what are the circumstances? Gladwell uses multiple riveting examples to illustrate his analysis of the stickiness of messages, the kind of people influential in effectively spreading those messages, and the context under which the outcomes can change. How removing graffiti led to 50% reduction in New York subway crime in the 1990s. What factors determines which kids cheat and under what circumstances. How a simulated prison experiment at Stanford University turned good-natured people into sadistic guards. What led to a huge spike in syphilis in Baltimore in 1992. It's a thought-provoking book, and I would like to share one last passage from Gladwell's conclusion. What must underlie successful epidemics in the end is a bedrock belief that change is possible, that people can radically transform their behavior or beliefs in the face of the right kind of impetus. This, too, contradicts some of the most ingrained assumptions we hold about ourselves and each other. We like to think of ourselves as autonomous and inner-directed, that who we are and how we act is something permanently set by our genes and our upbringing. But if you add up the examples illustrated in this book, they amount to a very different conclusion about what it means to be human. We are actually powerfully influenced by our surroundings, our immediate context, and the personalities of those around us. Look at the world around you. It may seem like an immovable, implacable place. It is not. With the slightest push in just the right place, it can be tipped. So why am I telling you this? First, it's our expectation that you, as scholars in this liberal arts institution, are intellectually receptive to developing a deep understanding of the human condition. We're all susceptible to the influence described in Gladwell's book. As such, understanding those influences can help us all more clearly see the world and conduct ourselves in more constructive ways. Secondly, as new students of this institution, most of you will strive to fit in. But deep down, what most of us really want is to stand out, to excel, to make a difference in some way. I believe that people who are investing themselves in your future, your families, your professors, the university's administration and staff, among others, that they have an implicit anticipation that your learning experience at Rider will contribute both to experiencing and perhaps creating tipping points that will lead to making real change in your future roles in society. Engage with your professors, your advisors, student leaders, with all the people that make Rider special. Keep your minds open and experience new things. And if things get too hot, just stop, drop, and roll. Welcome to Rider.
Thank you, Dr. Weber. That was great. We now turn to the more active aspect of our ceremony, the student pledge. Knowledge leads to wisdom, and wisdom, like a candle, can dispel the darkness in our world. Here now to pass the candle of wisdom for the class of 2020 to our new students is Charles Palmer, President of the class of 2020.
As the President of the class of 2020, I pass to you this candle of wisdom. During your time as Rider Bronx, may this flame illuminate your mind. As noted author Joseph Goldstein once said, just as the light of a single candle can dispel the darkness of 1,000 years, the moment we light a single candle of wisdom, no matter how long or deep our confusion, ignorance is dispelled.
As a representative of the new students at Rider University, I pass the candle of wisdom on behalf of my peers, pledging that we will approach our academic life with a seriousness of purpose, committing to meet the expectations set forth by the faculty, and making connections across our classes and co-curricular activities. We accept the need to be open-minded, challenged, and respectful of others' ideas, and we seek to further our knowledge.
As a representative of the new students at Rider University, I pass the candle of wisdom on behalf of my peers, pledging that we will be respectful on all people, rights, freedoms, and individual differences. We will be active members of our vibrant living and learning community, which embraces individuals of all backgrounds, and will join in efforts to promote equity and inclusion in all aspects of our campus.
As a representative for the new students of Rider University, I pass the candle of wisdom on behalf of my peers, pledging that we will actively seek engaged learning opportunities throughout our time at Rider University, so that by the time we are graduating seniors, we have easily completed the expectation for this graduation requirement. Our participation will extend across the engaged learning categories, including the new student community engagement opportunities provided in our first year.
As representatives of the new students at Rider University, I pass the candle of wisdom on behalf of my peers, pledging we will take responsibility for our lives as Rider Bronx, celebrating our successes, accepting accountability for our missteps, and acknowledging when we need support. We will meet with our navigation coach throughout our first year at Rider University, discovering the many individuals and offices that will support us as we navigate through our college career.
As a representative of the new students at Rider University, I pass the candle of wisdom on behalf of my peers, pledging that each day we will reflect on our decision to earn a college degree at Rider University and will take proactive steps to ensure our success in meeting our academic and personal goals. As we prepare for a life as independent learners, we pledge to contribute meaningfully to the changing world in which we live and work.
As a representative of the new students at Rider University, I pass the candle of wisdom on behalf of my peers, pledging we will embrace Rider University's vision for inclusive excellence. Through reflection and open, respectful dialogue, we will live a life as responsible citizens who demonstrate academic understanding and compassion to grow and serve as leaders in a diverse and global world.
As faculty
and staff
here at Rider University,
we pledge,
on behalf of our colleagues, to provide
dynamic
and rigorous
academic programs,
enriching
co-curricular experiences,
and a vibrant
living and learning community
for all of our students.
These combined efforts
will challenge our students,
excite
their imaginations,
and instill in them
excellence
in thought and action,
preparing them for highly engaged and fulfilling
professional
and personal lives.
Hello, I'm Dylan Erdely, and I'm the president of the Rider University Student Government Association. Please join me in lighting your candles and reading the Statement of Community Values on the screen. In our endeavor to make Rider University a just community, we commit ourselves as caring individuals to the following principles: that our rigorous intellectual life nourishes our minds and spirits, that no person roams these halls as a stranger, that integrity of word and deed forms the foundation of all relationships, that we recognize that real leadership is derived from service to others, that we celebrate our differences, for they are our strength, that we are proud of this special place, entrusted to us by past generations, nurtured by us for future ones, that we share not one truth, but respect our common pursuit for understanding. And through the time we spend here, we are forever joined to each other and to Rider University. Thank you.
President DeLomo referred to today as a new chapter in your life. With the pledges made on your behalf and the reading of the Statement of Community Values, it is a chapter that begins your odyssey, a long series of adventures filled with notable experiences as a Rider Bronc. Your years at Rider will be filled with many adventures, some in the classroom, some outside the classroom. Please know that these adventures are all part of the vibrant learning and living community we create just for you and will allow you to build bridges between your courses of study and the world in which you live. Think of your life's journey, your life's odyssey, as a tapestry filled with multicolored threads representing your many adventures. Today marks the beginning of a new thread in your tapestry, cranberry in color, that will depict your many adventures at Rider University. When you touch the Rider Rock for the final time as a student at Rider University, I know you will feel tremendous pride in all that you have accomplished. Work hard, have fun, please practice the COVID safety protocols and stay healthy. Remember, tomorrow is the first day of class, so get a good night's sleep and have a great first year. Go Bronx!